Hello everybody, you're watching Absolute Studios, and on this day 10 years ago, How to Train Your Dragon released in theaters. So to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of How to Train Your Dragon, I've decided to make a custom minifigure series. I started this series, I think back in August, and I've just now finished it like 3 days ago. So yeah, this series did take quite a long time to make, but I did make I took a break and made the Clone Wars. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy the custom minifigure series, and let's get into the video. First figure up on the list is Hiccup from the first movie. You can see that he has two accessories, his shield, and the shield's from when he's doing the dragon training, and his other accessory is his dagger when he uses to free Toothless early on in the movie. He uses the mid-teenage legs, which came in the Harry Potter series, and he uses the Luke Skywalker hairpiece in brown. And if you look at the face printing on the face, you can see his little scar, which is more prominent in the later movies. But what's funny about this figure is when I started this series in August, I was not working off of templates. And so I made like 5 figures, I think, of the series, and I remade them recently because the old ones, like the colors were bad. Here's the original Hiccup one though. I'll show you the originals for each of these. You can see there's a big difference between like the 6-month gap. Second figure in the series is once again Hiccup, but this one is his second appearance. This one has Lloyd's hair in brown, and his accessory is his fire blade with the lightsaber hilt in brown and the fire blade piece, which I think is from Ninjago. This is probably my second favorite figure in the series. I think it probably is the most detailed. Love how it just came out with the printing on the legs, and you can see how I did not use a peg leg piece because Hiccup only lost pretty much his foot and part of his ankle, and making a full peg leg would be pretty inaccurate. This is another figure that I had made back in August, and you can see the old one, the colors were off and everything. Just not that good, but it was good back then, I guess. But definitely a big improvement between the two. And this new one also has a separate headpiece, which is his mask that he wears quite a bit in the film. Third figure in this series is once again Hiccup. Don't worry, I promise this is the last Hiccup in the series. This one is based off of the Hidden World appearance with his dragon armor. Once again, I feel like this came out really good with the printing. I did the same thing of printing the peg leg onto the foot instead of making a full out leg piece. He has the fire blade, once again, which is the same accessory. It was either that or pretty much make no accessory. And you can see he has a new piece for his mask, but he has an alternate face, which allows the eyes to black out, which makes it look a lot more menacing. This third figure I also made back in August, and it's the best figure out of the August How to Train Your Dragon figures, but the new one I think definitely is better. And finally, now that we're out of the Hiccup figures, we're moving on to the Astrid figure I made, which uses a new hair piece, new shoulder pad piece, and it also has a new piece that goes onto the bottom of her axe. This figure is another one that I made back in August, but that one was using a different design of Astrid. This one's from the Hidden World appearance, and the old one was from the Race to the Edge. But I really like how this figure came out. I think it came out pretty detailed, and you can see that she uses a new skirt piece. Next up, we have Fishlegs in his Race to the Edge appearance, and this one has 2 accessories, which are 1x2 printed tiles of his dragon cards. One has an Eruptodon on it, and the other has a Cavern Crasher on it. This is the last figure in the wave that I made back in August, although I never fully completed the figure. But this one, you can see that his torso is raised up and he's not using a minifigure head. That is because since he's a bit stalkier than the rest, I decided to make him like Chewbacca, and you'll see that with a few more figures in the series. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. At number 6, we have Snotlout in his Race to the Edge appearance. He uses a new hair hat combo, which is his Viking helmet with some of his hair poking out the bottom of it, and you can see he has an axe, as the ceremonial axe, as his accessory, which is just the rod is just a normal piece, but the actual axe is a new piece that I designed for, which has some printing on it. Next up, we have Ruffnut from Race to the Edge, and this one's definitely one of my favorites in the series. His accessories are Macy, and also he has chicken as an accessory. And then his hair hat combo is a new piece with his hair poking at the end of it like Snotlout. And you can see his tooth necklace hanging below his neck. Next up, we have Ruffnut's twin sister, Ruffnut, and you can see that this figure is a lot like Ruffnut. Even the helmets are very similar, but it is a new piece with little ponytails sticking at the sides and different braids and a slightly different helmet and all that, with her accessory being a bowl and a piece of popcorn. At number 9, we have another one of the beefier figures in the series, which is Stoick the Vast. You can see that he is like Fishlegs, and he's using like the Chewbacca piece, not using a standard minifigure head, and he's kind of got a more buffed out body. He has a brown cape, and you can see like his beard and all that, and his helmet, which is all part of that piece, and his accessory is a hammer, which has a new type mold where the hammer just slides down and fits onto the stick. Next up, we have another of the beefier stature figures, which is Gobber. All of his helmet, head, mustache, and torso are all attached to each other. You can see, like Hiccup, I printed the peg leg onto the foot instead of giving him the peg leg piece. I gave him a new hook piece instead of using the old one Legos made. And for his accessory, he has the Book of Dragons with the symbol and all the different styles of printing on the book piece. Next up, we have Hiccup's mom, Valka, and I gave her staff as her accessory. You can see that I made new hook pieces on each end. Each side has printed holes on each end of it. I gave her a new hair piece where you can see the normal dark red hair with the little white streak in it, and she has a new kind of hooded fur collar piece that goes around her neck. And this figure was pretty fun to make, kind of relaxing from doing the beefier figures. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Valka. Next up, we have Astrid, and to cut down on making so many new pieces for this series, I gave him Kanan Jarrus's hair. It's probably not the best because Kanan's hair is he has a lot more hair than Astrid, but Astrid does have the ponytail like Kanan does, so I thought it fit quite well. You can see the little owl printed onto his coat, and I gave him a short sword piece to represent his kind of sword/dagger that he has. At number 13 in this series, we have my favorite figure in the series, and that is Drago Bludvist. I just really like how he came out. I gave him a new cape piece, which is black on one end and has printed scales on the other. He is using the a new piece for his torso/head/beard, and I really just like how the beard came out. I was just trying to replicate it as best as I could with the dreadlocks, and I felt like it came out pretty well. He has his spear with him, which is just a normal rod piece, but I added a new spear piece to the end of it so it could have that little hook sticking out of it. And you can see on his face, he has a lot of these scars and stuff he has on his face for added detail. Next up, we have Grimmel the Grisly, and just like how I don't think he was that great of a villain, I don't think he came out that great as a figure. I tried my best on him, though. I felt like the printing on his torso and legs and everything is good, but the face is okay, but the thing that's really off, I think, is the hair. I used Junkrat's hair, and it's the closest thing I could find. It was either between that and Soldier 76's hair, and I felt like Junkrat was probably the closest thing to it. I was trying to cut back on making so many new pieces, so I just gave him an existing hair piece, which I think it's not the best, but I think it came out okay, and I gave him his crossbow as his accessory. And next up, we have Zephyr, Hiccup's daughter in the series. She came out pretty, not too much detail on it, but I think that makes it look a little bit better, not too much going on. She has the short legs pieces with a little bit of printing on them, and I gave her the Trolls, the new skirt piece that was introduced in Trolls, and you can see how I printed her skirt onto that. She doesn't have much unique going on with her arm since it's a lot like her mom's Astrid's, but I did give her a new hairpiece, which I think that hairpiece came out pretty good and could probably be used for different things as well. And you can see she has the shocked/happy face for when she reaches out and touches Toothless. And the final figure in this series is Hiccup's son, Nothing. This figure came out, I think, pretty good. He uses short legs, and the legs are very similar to Zephyr's, but have a little bit of different color variation going on with them. His accessory is his little wooden sword that we see tucked underneath his belt. You can see he has his tooth necklace, which is a lot like Tuffnut and Ruffnut's. His hairpiece is the original Kai's hairpiece, colored in blonde, and I couldn't decide what to do for his hair, so I asked EBrix, and he said to do that, and I think he definitely made the right choice on that one. Like Zephyr, he has the shocked face when he touches Toothless, and yeah, that's about going to wrap it up for this series. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was definitely really fun to make and go back and kind of relive How to Train Your Dragon. I'm so glad that it's been around this past decade, and it's sad to see it go, but it definitely got the proper send-off. Some of the figures that I did not include in the series, there are quite a lot since the original plan was to do 22 figures, but because of time reasons, I was not able to do that, so I shortened it to 16, but the list goes on where Dragon Armor Astrid, where I actually made it back in August/September, and a lot of characters from Race to the Edge as well, like Heather, Dagger, Mala, Vigo, and Riker, Johan, and Krogan. Those were all ideas I had, but they were sadly did not make the final cut. But I do don't worry if you are sad to see these figures not in the series. I plan to do multiple How to Train Your Dragon series since there's so much stuff I could probably make around 5 different How to Train Your Dragon series. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. If there's any custom minifigure series that you think I should make, definitely comment them down below. And what was your favorite figure in the series? As I said before, Drago was my favorite. And yeah, it's kind of been fun doing this series since I started back in August, and then in September, I decided to do the Clone Wars series, so I put the How to Train Your Dragon one on hold and restarted it in, like, February, I think. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun doing this series. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see all you guys later. Bye!